So I got this book, 101 Famous Poems. Really, really good. I forget if there's who composed it, but yeah, Roy J. Hook did the anthology, but it's a bunch of great authors. So it's kind of the one I'm gonna read is about Horatius, the captain of the gate of Rome. And this poem has like a lot of a couple things in it, but the thing I like about Horatius is that he does his job because it's right. He's like a true professional. So it's kind of, there's a part in it I'll get to you, but yeah, you'll know when I get there. So it's pretty cool. It's my favorite poem. Horatius by Thomas Babington Macaulay. He was born October 25th, 1800, and died December 28th, 1859. Lars Porsena of Clusium. By the 9 gods he swore that the great house of Tarquin should suffer wrong no more. By the 9 gods he swore to name the trysting day, and bade his messengers ride forth, east and west and south and north, to summon his array. East and west and south and north the messengers ride fast, and tower and town and cottage have heard the trumpets blast. The horsemen and the footmen are pouring in amain from many a stately marketplace, from many a fruitful plain. And now hath every city sent up her tale of men. The foot are 80,000, the horse are thousands 10. Before the gate of Sutrium is met the great array. A proud man was Lars Porsena upon this trysting day. But by the yellow Tiber was tumult and affright. From all the spacious champaign to Rome men took their flight. All a mile around the city, the throng stopped up the ways. A fearful sight it was to see, though through 2 long nights and days. Now from the rock Tarpeian, who could the Wayneburgers spy, the line of the blazing villages red in the midnight sky. The fathers of the city, they sat all night and day. For every hour some horseman came with tidings of dismay. They heard the council standing before the river gate. Short time was there, ye well may guess, for musing or debate. Outspake the council roundly, the bridge must straight go down, for Ianucleum is lost, naught else can save the town. Just then a scout came flying, all wild with haste and fear. To arms, Sir Council, Lars Porsena is here. On the low hills to westward, the council fixed his eye, and saw a swarthy storm of dust rise fast along the sky. And nearer, fast and nearer, doth the red whirlwind come, and loud still and more loud, from underneath the rolling cloud, it is heard the trumpet's war note pound, the trampling and the hum, and plainly and more plainly now through the gloom appears, far to the left and far to the right, in broken greens and blue light, dark blue light, the long array of helmets bright, the long array of spears. But the council's brow was sad, and the council's speech was low, and darkly looked he at the wall, and darkly at the foe. Their van will be upon us before the bridge goes down, and if they once may win the bridge, what hope to save the town? And then outspake the brave Horatius, the captain of the gate. To every man upon this earth death comes soon or late, and how can a man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? Hew down the bridge, Sir Council, with all the speed ye may. I, with two more to help me, will hold the foe in play. In you straight path a thousand may well be stopped by three. Now who will stand on either hand and keep the bridge with me? Then outspake Spirius Lartius, a Ramanian, proud was he. Lo, I will stand at thy right hand and keep the bridge with thee. And outspake strong Herminius, of Titan blood was he. I will abide on thy left and keep the bridge with thee. Horatius, quoth the council, as thou sayest so let it be. And straight against that great array forth went the dauntless three. Now with the three were tightening their harnesses on their backs. The council was the foremost man to take the hand and axe, and fathers mixed with commons seized hatchets, bar and crow, and smote upon the planks above and loosened props below. Meanwhile the Tuscan army, right glorious to behold, came flashing back at the noonday light, rank behind rank, like surges bright of a broad sea of gold. 4,000 trumpets sounded, a peal of warlike glee, as the great host with measured tread and spears advanced, the ensign spread, rolled slowly towards the bridge's head, where stood the dauntless three. The three stood calm and silent, and looked upon the foes, and a great shout of laughter from all the vanguard rose. And forth 3 chiefs came spurring before that mighty mass. To earth they sprang, their swords they drew, and lifted high their shields and flew to win the narrow pass. Aunus from green Tifernum, lord of the hill of Vines, and Ceus, whose 800 slaves sicken in Ilva mines, and Picus long to Clusium, vassal in peace and war, who led the fight his Umbrian powers from their grey crag where girt with towers, the fortress of Nequinium towers, or the pale waves of Nar. Stout Lartius hurled down Aunus into the stream beneath. Herminius struck Ceus and clove him to the teeth. Epicus, brave Horatius, darted one fiery thrust, and pound Umbrian's gilded arms clashed in the bloody dust. But now no sound of laughter was heard amongst the foes. A wild and wrathful clamor from all the vanguard rose. 6 spears' lengths from the entrance halted that mighty mass, and from the space no man came forth to win the narrow pass. But hark, the cry of Astur, and lo, the ranks divide, and the earth and the great lord of Luna come with his stately stride. Upon his ample shoulders clangs loud the fourfold shield, and in his hands he shakes the brand which none but he can wield. He smiled on those bold Romans, a smile serene and high. He eyed the flinching Tuscans, and scorn was in his eye. Quoth he, the she-wolf's litter stands savagely at bay, but will ye dare to follow if Astur clears the way? Then, whirling up his broadsword with both hands to the height, he rushed against Horatius and smote with all his might. With shield and blade Horatius right deftly turned the blow. The blow, though turned, came yet too high. It missed his helm, but gashed his thigh. The Tuscans raised a joyful cry, but to see the red blood flow. He reeled, and on Herminius he leaned one breathing space. Then, like a wildcat mad with wounds, sprang right to Astur's face. Through teeth and skull and helmet so fierce a thrust he spread. The good sword stood at handbreadth out behind the Tuscan's head. And the great lord of Luna fell at that deadly stroke, as falls the Mount Avernus, a thunder-smitten oak. Far o'er the crashing forest the giant arms lie spread, and the pale augurs, muttering low, gaze on the blasted head. On Astur's throat Horatius right firmly pressed his heel, and thrice and four times tug amain, ere he wrenched out the steel. And see, he cried, the welcome, fair guest that waits you here. What noble Lucumo comes next to taste our Roman cheer? But meanwhile, axe and lever have manfully been plied, and now the bridge hangs tottered above the boiling tide. Come back, Horatius, loud cried the fathers all. Back, Lartius, back, Herminius, back ere the ruin fall. Back darted Spirius Lartius, Herminius started back. And as they passed beneath their feet, they felt the timbers crack. But when they turned their faces, and on the further shore saw brave Horatius stand alone, they would have crossed once more. But with a crash like thunder fell every loosened beam, and like a dam the mighty wreck lay right athwart the stream. And a long spout of triumph rose from the walls of Rome, as to the highest turret tops was splashed the yellow foam. Alone stood brave Horatius, but constant still in mind, thrice 30,000 foes before, and the broad flood behind. Down with him, cried false Sextus, with a smile on his pale face. Now yield thee, cried Lars Porsena, now yield thee to our grace. Round turned he, as not deigning those cavern ranks to see. Not spake he to Lars Porsena, to Sextus not spake he. But he saw on Palatinus the white porch of his home, and he spake to the noble river that rolls by the towers of Rome. O Tiber, Father Tiber, to whom the Romans pray, a Roman's life, a Roman's arms, take thou in charge this day. So he spake, and speaking, sheathed the good sword by his side, and with his harness on his back, plunged headlong in the tide. No sound of joy or sorrow was heard from either bank, but friends and foes, in dumb surprise, with parted lips and straining eyes, stood gazing where he sank. And when above the surges they saw his crest appear, all Rome sent forth a rapturous cry, and even the ranks of Tuscany could scarce forbear to cheer. But fiercely rank the current, swollen high by months of rain, and fast his blood was flowing, as he was sore in pain, and heavy with his armor, and spent with changing blows, and oft they thought him sinking, but still again he rose. And now he feels the bottom, now on dry earth he stands, now round him throng the fathers to press his gory hands, and now, with shouts and clapping, and noise of weeping loud, he enters through the river gate, borne by the joyous crowd. Wow. What a day.